First thing we want to get into is talk about some football action. Start this off by that Sunday. I'd even start with the Eagles Giants game. That Thursday, Sunday, and last night was probably the best week of football we've had so far for the year. Some really good games went on. That Sunday, that 1 to 4 window of games, there was 3 or 4 of them that towards the end were really good. First one we talk about here is a little Browns Bengals action. That being a rival, it was cool to see Joey Burrow and Baker go at it. I'm telling you right now, man, I think Joey B is that guy, man. Something about him. He's just cut from the right cloth. I think, them coming down and him, him coming down at the end, and essentially what I think everyone thought, sealed the game, and then Baker and them obviously marched down the field and won it. But I'll tell you what, man, I like me some Joey Burrow. I don't know what you guys think about him, but he's looked really impressive. You just look, I mean, he's throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game, but, what's he got? I think every game so far he's thrown for 300, just having an incredible rookie season. I'd go ahead and lock him in already for the offensive rookie of the year. That was a good game. That was a really good game. My only thing with that is obviously the Browns sneaking away with the win is I just don't know if the Browns are legit or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree. They lost Odell for the year as well. He got smashed on a kickoff return, so that's definitely not going to help anything. In the past couple games, first throw of the game, Baker has thrown a pick. But after the pick on this week, he went a perfect 23 for 23, which is pretty impressive.
Looked damn good there that second half. He really did. You said something about Odell, and I kind of got to disagree. I think obviously we don't want to see players get hurt. Odell is a great player. I think though that might free some things up for the Browns because I think one of the biggest reasons why I say the Browns are legit is just because with Baker. I just think for the past year and a half, ever since they acquired Odell, that they've been just trying to force the ball to him. And to me, it's just never seemed like the best fit. Obviously with him being out due to why he's out, I just think maybe it's kind of like last show we talked about with Antonio Brown to the Bucks, how there's only so many balls to go around. I wouldn't actually be surprised if maybe we see that offense be a little more efficient going into the next couple of games, just because Baker doesn't really have to worry about trying to feed Odell and whatnot, because he just hasn't looked the same in Cleveland. And it's very unfortunate that he went out with an injury. And to add, the irony was that he injured himself on a pick that Baker threw. But
their chemistry has never been that great from the jump. But I think with Odell out, I think Jarvis Landry becomes a target monster. Mm-hmm. He probably sees at least 10 targets a game, so that should be pretty interesting.
Rashard Higgins in the cut, maybe to get Njoku involved a little more.
Mm-hmm. I think might run a lot of two tight end sets with Austin Hooper and Njoku out there. That'll be interesting to see as well.
Browns defense running game is just still strong. Like they got no problem pounding that ball. So I mean, they're still going to have weapons. Obviously, you hate to see what happens to Odell. That's confirmed ACL tear out for however many weeks that is. It's like 18, whatever, dude. Just not good for the Browns. But
it's a year and a half.
Someone's got to step up.
He's got something in his contract, too, where they won't be able to cut him or anything like that. So he's still going to get, I think, majority of all his guaranteed money. But yeah, I mean, I just think at the base that the Browns just need to be a running football team and kind of go from there. But that was a really good game. Actually, before we move on to talking about another game, I wanted to ask you guys a question. I saw a couple of things online. You get in your GM mode for a second. You start a team tomorrow. You get to draft one player, Burrow, Mr. Disney Channel hair, Air Bear. Who you guys taking?
I mean, Justin Herbert has looked damn good so far. That's a tough question.
It's a tough question.
Like as a physical specimen alone, I'm taking Justin Herbert. Dude is intimidating. He's a fucking massive mountain of a human. Mm-hmm. But Joey Burrow is legit. Like he's doing his thing down there. And their record might not show it, but all those games are close contention. Like they're playing good football.
I think too, when you see is like, I said, he's throwing all these completions and whatnot. I mean, they're kind of just been throwing them to the wolves as he should. And he's just looked pretty damn impressive. I mean, then I think we're just kind of looking at the rest of the team, and I don't think they have the roster around him. But if I'm a Bengals fan today, I'm pretty damn happy, and a Chargers fan. I'm pretty damn happy of what that team might look like in a couple years. Like you said, from a talent standpoint, overall talent, I like me some Herbert, but Burrow's just got that mentality or something. I just like the way he cooks up. So yeah, Browns Bengals, that was a fun game. We got to talk about a little Washington Cowboys action. That was, they made Washington look like the damn Buccaneers or something. That
game was never competitive, not even for 1 second.
There's 53 players hopped on a plane to go fly to Washington to kick a field goal and bounce. And then we saw what happened with Dalton got Flacco'd out there. Brought in what's his name there, Danucci or something.
Yep, Danucci.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a Cowboys thing every week, but they're just so bad. It's that division. I think every team in that division has 2 wins now. I think the Giants only have 1 still, maybe. I'm not too sure, but
Eagles sitting at the top at 2-4-1. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
It's just crazy with the Cowboys. They just have all these locker room problems coming out. People are saying a lot of it's coming from the defense. A lot of the blame was like with Jason Garrett, and then he gets kicked out and they still fucking stink. Right now, they're the worst defense in the league, 32nd. Most points allowed, averaging 34.7 a game. It's an absolute disgrace. And it's just crazy to see Andy Dalton go out too. Like, they got fucking Gabaguchi out here. Who they got, dude? Like, come on.
Gabaguchi at the quarterback. Come on
as
down.
an Eagles fan, it feels great because I feel like we're going to win. But obviously, you don't like to see the injury, but definitely want to have that edge over the Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely not mad at that.
Gabaguchi. Name's Danucci. What's his first name? We find that out. Yeah, just I think if I saw something today, if playoffs started tomorrow, it'd be like an Eagles Bears matchup or something like that. I don't know, but it's just crazy. I think 2-4-1 team is leading the division. Oh, man,
imagine being an NFC West team right now. Every one of them's got 5 wins. They're all balling out.
That's
it's so competitive, division. And they're gonna have to give up a home playoff game to the NFC East. Like, it's crazy.
It shouldn't happen.
Polar opposites. You have arguably the best division we've seen in a while, and then the worst.
I saw some Al Michaels or something was talking about just because they're doing the 7th team or something for the playoffs. It would take a lot for it to happen. I'm not exactly sure what he said, but all 4 teams in the NFC West could theoretically get to the playoffs, which is absolutely insane.
That's only possible in this COVID season too. So it'd be pretty cool to see happen. But
well, we talk about the AFC matchup we saw last night. That was a great game. Seahawks Cardinals, what we're talking about. Me and you, Mike, were talking a little bit about that. I definitely think the Seahawks are legit. I definitely think they're a Super Bowl contending team, but that defense is low key just kind of awful. I mean, we were saying I compare it to kind of what James Harden has been doing the past couple of years with the Rockets. It's like James Harden has to play and put up those numbers every night, or else they're just not going to win. And I feel like that's the same with Russell Wilson. I mean, offensively, I don't think there's. The line could be better, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that offense. I mean, we saw Tyler Lockett absolutely go off. We know DK's a beast. I think Chris Carson's one of the more underrated backs in the leagues, but Russell Wilson has to play like that every night for it to be even competitive. I'm not sure, what's going on with that defense. They just have no pass rush, and it's like I think the Cardinals are a very good team. They're obviously sitting at 5-2. I think people should slow down a little bit on the hype train, though. I don't think they're as good as we're thinking they are. I'm not saying they're bad at all. They played a very good game last night, against the Seahawks. I say Monday night. I meant Sunday night. They played a very good game against the Seahawks. But when we're looking at that NFC, the playoffs and who's potentially going to come out of the NFC. I just come playoff time when some of those defenses start locking in. I just don't know if the Seahawks are going to be able to get it done. I don't know if Russell Wilson can keep that up for 16 weeks. He threw 3 picks last night. And I mean, granted, Kyler Murray on the opposite side looked phenomenal. I think he's tied in the league right now for rushing touchdowns. And I mean, they're just kind of getting it done. I think Cliff Kingsbury is doing a really good job down there in Arizona, and I mean, I liked what I saw. It was just a really good game. We got to see the overtime, and that was exciting. But I feel that way about the Seahawks. I don't know how you guys feel, but what do you guys take on that?
Yeah, I definitely think they're probably one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. But as you mentioned before, I just don't think their secondary as a whole can keep up with a lot of teams come playoff time. Like, I definitely think they get torched by a lot of AFC teams like the Steelers and the Chiefs. So
I agree with that.
Seahawks defense is missing Jamal Adams these past 3 games out with a strained groin. But again, bringing in a great player like that is obviously going to help, but I don't think he's going to put that whole defense on his back. There's still some other issues, like you said, on that D line. But Russ going 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, all the Tyler Lockett for them fantasy owners. It's great to see that offense. But again, he's keeping that consistency up. He's MVP Russ right now, and I want to see him continue to do that. But it's hard to imagine he's going to play every game the way he has.
Yeah, he's going to – they're going to hit a few hiccups for sure, I think. But I don't know. It's like a lot of football left to play. You said you got the Seahawks 1 or 2 best teams in the NFC. I want to hear that number 1, because if you don't say Tampa Bay, I don't know what you're smoking.
I know you want me to say it so bad.
I'm ready to lock them in as winning the Super Bowl. I really am.
I don't know about all that.
I'm really ready to lock them in. I don't know, man. TB12 is just figuring that shit out down there, dude. Like they play 30 minutes away from where I live, and that's, man. I just. Tom Brady, dude, you'd think at 43 years old it'd just start breaking down, and it's just not. He looks incredible. Tom Brady's low-key starting to look like an MVP candidate.
In retrospect, that kind of was a donk move on my part, telling them not to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they're locked in to make the playoffs at this point.
Locked in. You can just send me to 50 right now. I mean, you got my Cash App.
Yeah.
I'm just, the only reason I say Super Bowl is just because that defense. We saw what they did. We saw what they did to Green Bay. Obviously they handled the Raiders. And then we're obviously next week or potentially week after that going to see Antonio Brown. I just think I think that whole locker room, the whole organization, top to bottom, is saying, hey, we have a legit chance to win a Super Bowl this year, so let's just go out and do the damn thing. And
I think Tom Brady brings some of that culture, though, with him.
Sure.
Bringing the GOAT quarterback into the locker room, I'm sure he's expecting nothing but W's.
He's just a winner.
It's just going to bring success all around him.
Dude just wins, pisses excellence.
Literally.
You're right. I bring in some of that culture with him. I think we talk all the time about the Patriot way. We might have to start talking about the Tom Brady way, that TB12 diet or something, dude. Because we're going to see in a couple of weeks, with Antonio Brown, Bruce Arians just come out and said Tom Brady had nothing to do with the Antonio Brown thing. I don't believe that one bit. But we'll see. That's if we had to make a call today. I'm gonna go Bucs Steelers Super Bowl, but super early. But you heard it here first. I'll keep talking about a couple other games though. Another good one by a couple bad teams. We had the Lions and the Falcons.
Great game. Game was insane.
Game was good. I really thought there was the whole thing. Todd Gurley not scoring the touchdown when he could have went down, and they ran the timeout. And I had someone message me and say, well, why is that a big deal that he scored? And like we saw why, like they could have ended the game there, and Matt Stafford came down and made a really good play to win. I mean, that was a good game. I still think, those two teams are just bad.
Being an Eagles fan is hard, but I can't imagine being a Falcons fan right now. They've gotten backdoored so many times this season, it's like insane.
I know, and what's crazy is that offense is low-key so good, just got awesome weapons, and that defense is just blowing it, dude. Just blowing it. I don't know. I mean, and we were talking last show about like Julio and Matt Ryan. Like, what do you do with them? What can you do with them? Because I don't see the team really getting any better. But yeah, that would be hard to be a Falcons fan right now because they've blown, I think, like 3-4 quarter lead so far this year, and that's just like what are we doing? I'd have that whole defense in my office, dude. Cut, dude. We'll find some scrubs or something, dude. I could go out there and maybe get a pick or something, but I mean that was another fun game, definitely to watch though. And I just mentioned the Steelers. We talked about the Steelers versus the Titans. First couple quarters, it looked pretty one-sided. Then second half, it looked like Tennessee made some right adjustments to be able to come back and look pretty decent. I told you guys last show, if there's any team that would be able to stop Derrick Henry, it'd be that Steelers front seven. And
stood him up on the line, that goal line drive. You heard that hit around the world, brother.
Yeah, to be like legit, that looked bad, bro. But I bet you Derrick Henry probably didn't even feel that, dude. Just a mammoth of a human. Which I mean, he still had 70 yards. To say like a player had 70 rushing yards, like isn't like that's still very, very good by a lot of other standards. But like Derrick Henry coming off like a 200 rush yard game, just that Steelers defense looks legit. I mean, I think that was the first game I saw from Big Ben where I don't know. I mean, I definitely think he still got it, but he threw a couple really bad picks. I don't know. I think I think at most he's probably only got the rest of this year in him. I think we're definitely seeing the defense carry that team a little bit, but they still have really, really good offensive weapons.
Depth. They got offensive depth at just about every position.
Depth, length, strength. I forgot. I don't know who I picked going into that game. I think I definitely said Steelers, but
yeah, it was pretty mind blowing beginning of the week when I saw them Steelers plus 1.5. Vegas just got that wrong. I think that was a pretty easy bet in my opinion.
Yeah. Another thing we got to talk about is last night. Our boy Nick Twig said Bears plus 6.5. Hammer it to the moon.
Yeah. Big Dick Nick just did not do shit. Flaccid Foles came out and didn't do anything.
That's okay.
They did have a rough go, and both teams did. In the first quarter of that game, it was pretty slow. I'm not going to lie. The offense was just rough. But Nick Foles, dude, that's a conversation topic. I think he has great potential, but I don't think it's going to work out in Chicago. I don't think he can really, him and Allen Robinson and whoever that other guy is, 11 and 12. I can't remember which is which.
Same player, pretty much.
Literally, but they're just having a tough time. And even when Mitch Trubisky comes back, what do you do with that, Twig? Like,
he's got to, I don't know. He's got to try to get someone in the draft, I think. They tried to pound the ball so much with David Montgomery and just can't get any run over 3 yards. It's pretty hard to watch, honestly.
Yeah, and then so here's a question I got for you guys. On the other side of the ball, looking at the Los Angeles Rams, they won that game 24-10. But 4 of their wins are all from NFC East teams. They beat each of them. Mm-hmm. And then their 2 losses are the Bills and someone else I forget. But I don't think the Rams are legit.
That's pretty much what I was thinking going into that with Bears plus 6.5. I don't think the Rams are a good team. I just didn't think the Bears were that bad. So that's on me.
No, I agree with you. And I'm interested to see how LA moves forward. But I think Jared Goff is legit. I think that Cooper Kupp's great. They got some awesome offense to watch.
Robert Woods as well.
Yep. I just think down the road, I don't see them making it happen.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I just had a hammy jump up on me, dude. I was trying to adjust my chair, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I said last show. Oh fuck, sorry, dude. That hurts so bad. the Bears were sitting at 5-1, and I was just kind of like, how? And then I mean, they're obviously still sitting at 5-2, which is good. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think they're legit. I think their obvious quarterback is at their biggest problem is obviously at the quarterback. I mean, we saw last year it got to a point where the defense just kind of gave up because it's like you got Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, like two of the best guys at their position that play solid defense, and it's like your offense just can't score to save their life. You know, they couldn't really do it with Mitch, and obviously kind of can't do it with Nick Foles. But it's just crazy to me that they're still sitting at a 5-2 record. But I think that will slowly start to go downhill down there in Chicago with the Bears. But yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if maybe at the end of this year this might be a hot take. I think Matt Nagy might need to find a new spot unless they find a quarterback. I'm just not sure because they're sitting at that window now where they're either at 5 wins. It's like even if they lost out or even won a couple games, maybe at max they went like 7-9. They're going to be in the middle of the road pack to possibly get a quarterback or whatnot. You know, I don't know what quarterback free agents are next year, but they just got to figure out that quarterback position because I think Matt Nagy is legit. I think they definitely use a little better of a running game.
David Montgomery is not the guy.
Just not that right now.
Who would you like to see at that QB position? I'd like to see a Fitzpatrick in that situation.
Yeah, I mean,
I wanted them to get Cam Newton so bad. I think he'd play really well in that offense, and they just kind of blew it and signed Nick Foles instead.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Bears literally haven't had a franchise quarterback, I think, since
Cutler.
I wouldn't even.
That's a stretch in itself.
Nah, dude. Yeah,